Welcome back to the channel. Jack with Crichton Chronicles here with another first impressions video, and today we'll be looking at Overboss by Brotherwise Games. This game was one that I was initially fairly excited about when the Kickstarter launched. It's set in the world of Overboss, which they also produce, and I was always kind of a fan of that game, even though I haven't played it in some time. But yeah, this game takes place in that world of, I believe it's Arcadia. And instead of in Boss Monster, where you're kind of like building out your lair and trying to lure, heroes in and whatnot, and killing them and gaining their souls and whatever, you're basically kind of like terraforming land and just creating your overworld. And so, yeah, I kind of like the idea. I always like the 8-bit and kind of video gamey kind of look of it all. And so, yeah, super excited about this when it was coming out, and finally got to play it. We played it basic, and we did try it advanced. So I'll kind of try to give it a little bit of difference there. But yeah, so the components themselves were good quality. All the tiles were thick, and cards were standard stock, I believe. And yeah, I don't show them here, but I do have a what's in the box or an unboxing video, which I'll link below if you want to check them out. After that video, I did have some issues with some of the limited edition, because we got the Kickstarter Tower Edition, and it comes with a special like Tower limited set of tiles and tokens, and those weren't cut properly, so some of those had ripped when I popped them out. That was after I actually recorded that video, but Brotherwise Games was really awesome and had me submit a form, and I think it was just last week even, and they've already processed that, and I just got the replacement tiles today, so that was awesome. So kudos to them for being having great customer service. So, but beyond that, everything else punched out great. No issues whatsoever. The Tower Edition came with a broken token, and that was fine. And that, when you put it together, it worked fine. So, no complaints with any of the components. So yeah. As for the gameplay itself, it's a fairly simple game. It's maybe more of a filler, if not gateway. I know some people don't like gateway, but I like gateway games. So, but anyway, I would consider it a gateway game, something good for people who aren't really gamers necessarily. At least for the basic mode, for sure, and even some advanced. And like I said, I'll get into a little bit of that. But essentially, the mechanics of the games are you'll have 4 tiles out. There's like different types. There's swamp, cave, camp, whatever. There's 10 different tiles, 11 if you get the tower tiles. And then you'll have 4 tokens that are paired up with, randomly paired up with the tiles. So all you'll do on your turn is you'll grab the whichever pair you want and place them on your board. And for the basic, it's a 3x4 board. And you just, one by one, fill up your board. Once the boards are filled, it's done. There's not a whole lot of thought beyond just you figuring out what tile you want, and that's it. There's no interaction, hardly beyond. Basically, you can try and snipe someone's tile that you think they might want, but you might do that at the cost of your own strategy. So I'm not sure if that'd be worthwhile. So, and it's similar, I feel, to like maybe Between Two Castles or something, where the tiles score differently. So you'll have like the forest, those tiles will, the more forests you have, up to like maybe 5 or so, will score you 4 or 5. Either way, they'll score more points as the more you get. Like deserts, they'll be the most, you get more points for the more amounts you have like connected to one another, sharing a border. Or caves, it's worth a point or 2, worth a point, and then you'll get 2 points if it's next to like on the outer side of the board on the player mat, there's like water and mountains. If it's by a mountain, you'll get 2 other points. So they score different ways like that. And the other way of scoring is you'll have the other tokens that you get, a lot of times are monster tokens, sometimes they're portal tokens, and there's mini bosses. So you'll place a tile, you put the token on that tile, or perchance another tile that has an empty spot on your map. And for each different or for each similar, same matching token, sharing a border, you'll get like points. So if you have 3 in a row, you'll score like 9 points or something like that. So you get more points incrementally the more of those tokens you have lined up. So that's pretty much the only scoring elements. The portals you'll get, those are different, I guess, a mechanic, I guess, where you can spend them and you can swap around tokens. Because what you're kind of trying to do is like, line up those tokens on the layer tile or terrain tiles, and, because you want to get as many in a row, or if you can put, each tile has its own specific monster token. So if you get the monster token on the terrain token that matches, it's a point. So there's stuff like that. So there's a lot of different variety of like ways to score points. And like I said, there's the 10 main terrain tiles, 11 if you have the tower tiles. So you only play with 5 in a game. It's really easy setup. You shuffle 5, whatever you want, or they have randomizers if you want to just do that. So they'll have cards so you can pick 5 randomly and then take those tiles. And yeah, so I don't know. I feel like each game would be very potentially different, So a lot of replayability just on that aspect alone. And so, yeah, and theme-wise, I mean, you're building up your overground, your overlayer kind of thing, your overworld. So it is what it is. It's hard to say thematic because it's like, oh, here's a desert, here's a graveyard, here's a forest and a swamp or whatever, and it's all like mismatched, but it's cool. And yeah, it is kind of video gamey, so I don't know. I really liked it, and I thought that the theme was pretty good for what it is. So with the advanced, I would not say that it got more difficult. In fact, it's kind of modular. So with advanced, the player board has 2 sides. One's a 3x4, the other's a 4x4. So technically you can do the 4x4 and it just prolongs the game. But if you're, playing just standard without, I would say, the command cards, which is another module, it's still kind of like a solitaire game where it's just a little longer of a game. Then there is the boss module where you can pick a particular boss and you will have a reveal ability if you wish to use that ability, because when you do that, you each get a boss. It'll have its individual secret scoring, so that will be there, and but you can reveal it and you'll get a reveal ability, and it's a one-time use in the game, and that's it. So I don't feel like that adds any difficulty to the game, nor playing on the 4x4 side, the bigger side of the player mat. So, but I would say that if you add in the command cards, it doesn't necessarily get more difficult. It just gets a little more messy, a little more, at least for me, because I'm prone to AP, analysis paralysis, and yeah, there is like a set of, there's like 3 kinds of commands that you can do. If you match tiles on the board, whether it's like intimidate is 2 next to each other of the same terrain type, demolish is 3, and the other is for overthrow. So, and intimidate's just side by side, so that triggers a lot. But so the cards will just be out, and if you match sometimes they'll be like in an L shape or a T shape, whatever it is, depending on what card is out there. If you match up on your board the same terrain tiles in that pattern, you can initiate that card. And in that instance, that's what adds a lot of the player interaction for the game, if you want any player interaction, because intimidate, you can slide a tile any up, down, or left or right on any board. And then demolish was you can destroy a tile on any board, and overthrow was, I think, you swap 2 tiles from, I don't know if they have to be different boards, actually. I think it couldn't be your board, but you can also swap with someone else or swap theirs if there's multiple, more than two. So, and that's where things got a little messy because we were thinking we wouldn't actually activate them a lot. And we wondered if it was because we played it with a 4x4, because not only if you have like the same terrain, tiles can be used to trigger multiple cards. So you could do two side by side and it triggers Intimidate, but if you got the third, it would trigger Demolish. And then if you did a fourth, if there was like a T, let's say, then you could actually trigger Overthrow. So it happened way more. And we played on a 4x4, which allowed that to happen more, but even on a 3x4 board, on the small board, it might happen a bit as well. I don't know, because we were thinking, we might trigger this, 2 or 3 times or whatever. No, we went through like most of the deck, half the deck at least. And it got, like I said, the AP proneness kind of like hit because you were trying to bait. Then you had to like worry like, okay, I could do this to this individual. I could destroy that tile. But then I know this is on the board in the market. They can grab that tile, match it, and hit this command card and then screw me over. Kind of like, they'll get you back. And it just, it just heightened the AP-ness of it. It doesn't exactly make it more difficult at all. And we did go in just ham, just did all of it because it is a light game. So, and yeah, I would still say that it is a light game, even on the advanced mode. And you could, like I said, it's modular, so you don't have to play with the command cards. You could just do the bigger board, do the bosses, whatever, and that would be fine too. But yeah, put them all in would be fine. It's just those command cards that really kind of make it a little longer of a game because of the AP-ness of it. But yeah, doesn't change the difficulty, and I would recommend it because it's fun, but it just prolongs it and amps up that AP-ness. So yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much it with this. I thought it was a really fun, light game. Everybody enjoyed it. Like I said, we played it the 2 times. Even though the one caused a little bit more, AP proneness, that we still really enjoyed it. We want to try it on the lower, like on the smaller board, to see if it triggers command cards as much. But yeah, overall, we had a lot of fun with it, and yeah, it's a nice little filler or gateway game. And like I said, played 2 times. Looking forward to playing it a few more times to kind of get a more solid opinion. But for now, that's my first impressions of Overboss. And I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. And if you played it, let me know down below what you thought of it and what your first impressions were. And yeah, so looking forward to that. And until next time, take care.